move on to the next game, the next standard review.
Another Cosmos game.
Yeah, Cosmos is killing it, man. All right. So this game is called Steam Time. This is also from Thames and Kosmos. This is a worker placement game. So first things first, let me tell you what worker placement means. We joke about this all the time. Sit down, sit down. Basically, there's a board, and you have little things, and you can place it there, and when you place it there, you get to do something. No one else can go there after you place it there, and there's an order of how you go. And so this game is set in 1899, and you work for the, we talked about time travel being so popular, you work for the Temporal Institute for Monument Exploration, time for short. Very cute. But what's going on is there are strange phenomenons happening throughout the world at the world's monuments, and you find out that there's these crystals there that allow you to time travel. So what you're trying to do in this game is gather up these crystals and go back in time to visit famous people and be the smartest and most sophisticated person in the world. They're called esteem points. Ha ha ha. But it's got a steam, yeah, esteem points. Very cute. But it's a very thematic game in that it's steampunk. Like the little crystals are very cute. The art in it,
pieces are really cool.
Yeah, the artwork is fantastic in it. But it's a classic Euro style worker placement game that has a lot of cool choices. This game reminds me of a game where it's like, would you like pie or would you like cake? It's like everything's a good choice. You can
pie.
Pie, definitely.
That's my answer.
Oh no, cake.
Oh, no.
Yeah, pie.
Okay,
Definitely.
anyways.
We know. Pie.
So what you can do is when you're placing your little ships, your little airships, you can do things like go out and explore. What does it say on the back?
No, like, it says like
5 stars.
Well, it says like, yeah, strategy 5 stars, luck 1 star, steampunk 5, time travel 4. It's like
More steampunk than any game ever.
It's like, I'm looking for a 3 rated steampunk game, not
This is
5.
a little more steampunk than I'd like it to be.
So no, but you can work to upgrade your ship. You can go back in time and meet famous people like Leonardo da Vinci or who else was on there?
Rockefeller.
Yeah, William Shakespeare, all this different stuff, and you get points for doing that. What's cool about this game is when you place your little airship on these different monuments, you do the action that you placed on, but you also trigger a bonus of a particular compartment of your ship. And during the game, what you're going to be doing is filling those compartments with fuel, these little crystals. So the fuel to fuel those compartments are also used as currency to go buy upgrades. So it's this cool balance of, do I want to keep my engines, my compartments full, or do I want to use that fuel to go buy stuff? Think of like if you took the gas out of your car, like Mad Max, right? Like fuel is money in this game. And it's a cool component because it kind of twists your brain into thinking like, do I go this way or do I go that way? It's a point salad game, meaning you can have lots of different strategies and win. It's not one particular mid-max strategy. It's a ton of fun. It's a beautiful game. Anything else you guys want to add about how to play the game?
No.
No?
Oh, well, there's one thing, the way it rotates. I think it's kind of important. So there's like different places you can land, but every round the scene changes because like time's flowed. So it changes the strategy of what you can go for.
Yeah, each turn.
So
it's a modular
every
board.
single time. Yeah, it's a modular board. But that one, it was predictable, and I like that for strategy sake.
Yes.
Which I liked predictability. 2, it just kept things different, so it didn't feel like Caverna kind of gets a little slow to me because it's the same thing. I mean, yes, you do have that like change of flipping the harvest or whatever, but it's not that changing everything every time. And this one, I feel like the rotation keeps it fresh. You kind of got to think of what other people are doing and what you're doing. I don't know. I thought that was a unique aspect to the game that made it as good as it was.
Okay, so let's do a review. Thumbs out or hands out. Thumbs up, again, good game. Thumbs to the side, okay game. And thumbs down is a bad game. 1, 2, 3.
I'm just kidding. Thumbs up.
I was like, are you kidding me?
I'm just joking. I really had a great time.
So
with this
Jordan's
game.
got his thumb up, and me and Gerald have our thumb to the side. Now, Jordan, since you love this game, come on. And that's hard. Jordan.
I know. I'm pretty critical on games, but I had a super fun... Like, I want to play this right now. I had a super fun time. Turn it off. We're going back to the game. No, it was super fun. Again, really high strategy. I like the predictability. That's my kind of game. Like, I like it closer to chess. Like,
you like
I can
less luck.
See what's going on.
Yeah.
Yeah. In fact, the reason I lost was there's a very small luck thing here, and that came up, which made it... I had all the gems in the world to win, but the card came up that
every game, the currency, the effort card, which is the currency to buy things, changes the color of the crystals because there's all different color crystals, and those change each round. So you can try to gain a whole bunch of one color because that's the current currency, and then it'll change. It's like if you had a bunch of balloon Canadian money and then it switched to US dollars. You'd be like, this isn't worth anything.
So
right
I had 5 of one color to buy what I wanted to buy, but then to spend, and that would have won the game for me.
Yeah.
But because the card that came up said I had to spend that money to buy anything, then I couldn't buy what I needed to win the game. I
love that.
So I know you love that luck thing. And it made it fun.
Yes.
It definitely keeps it fun and keeps it rotating. And I do like that there's that, anybody could win, basically. But overall, that's very minimized in this game.
You can minimize the luck.
That's the only place where there really is luck. The rest of it is just making good decisions, doing it correctly, and just really thinking it through. So it's like perfect game for me. And like I said, I want to play it right now. So that means it's a great game.
Gerald, your thoughts?
It's an okay game. It's to me, this has the same problem as Caverna. And to me, it's almost exactly the same game to me. Very similar to me.
It's a worker placement game. I mean, that's a type of game.
Right,
so but it is a. And
that's
it
just
is
the only thing that I can compare it to.
Yeah, no. That's
to me, I've only played it once, and it's very overwhelming for me. So, like the last turn we did, so I could try to win. How long did it take me to make that turn? Because it's like, if I can do this, then I can get this, and then I can buy this, so I get this points for that mission card. And it took forever for me to figure that out. And maybe I'm just too stupid for this game. I don't know, but it's definitely very, very, very high strategy. And it's just, to me, it's almost just overbearing.
I think if you play it that way, it is.
Yeah.
I think you can play it casually and still enjoy the game because it's one of those. It has kind of a civilization building game. Even when you lose, you can look down at your airship, look at all the cool upgrades you got, look at all the crystals you have, look at the money. So there are things that even when you lose, it's kind of fun. I don't
know about that.
Losing
still sucks.
But I don't ever mind losing.
The more time I play this game, I think that thumb will go up a little bit more. Yeah. It's just the first time playing, it's overwhelming. There's a lot of strategy to this game. There's a lot of different things you can do.
And it does have the aspect of Caverna, which I think the overwhelming. Well, actually, you know what? This one I didn't feel that way.
I was going to ask you. You didn't think this ended too quickly. That's always your complaint with worker placement.
I feel this one ended too quickly.
Oh, really?
It's like on the 4th round, you're like 5th round, it's very end. You're like,
how many?
Crap,
it's just 5 rounds.
5 rounds, yeah.
Yeah, maybe it's because I knew it was. Maybe because I've been playing more worker placement games.
Yeah.
I'm knowing now that you just got to get started right away. And that's what I knew. By round 3, I had already told myself, okay, I'm just buying victory points to win. Like I'm not trying to build up because I like to make this engine that's just cooking, Yeah. But then, by round 5, I'd have the best engine ever, but I don't have any time to make anything.
Yeah.
So I just slowed it down, and I knew I needed to go for it early because I knew it was 5 rounds. So maybe that's just me getting better at this kind of game. But what was my point?
I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't either.
I feel like did you feel it ended too quickly?
No, not at all. It went fine.
I feel it did, but I think it's just an experience with the game. So
couple.
Oh, I remember my point.
Go ahead.
Okay, sorry. The overwhelming feeling you have of Caverna.
Yeah.
So many options because it's not just one strategy you can win with this game. You kind of have to pick a strategy and keep riding with it and go solid. And Caverna is the same way. You go into the cavern or you do the farm. You don't really do both. It's not as a successful way to do it.
I would argue with you.
You don't want to thin your resources.
You do a little bit, but I mean, once you start digging the caverns, you want to make rubies. You want to do I don't know.
Right.
And in this game, I found it the same way. Like I early picked that I wanted to mine a lot of elements and go that route to buy as many victory points with them as I could. But I could see a lot of other ways to win this game. So I think that's where you're getting the overwhelming.
Yeah,
you're
definitely.
Like, is that the better way to do it, or is this? You're like overthinking it. When you just got to pick one, and if you go with it right, you can win with that strategy.
That's what I feel. If I keep playing it more, it'll only get better.
Yeah.
I think for me, I like this game. I think it's a good game. I don't think it's a great game because I think a couple things. One is the theme. Although it has 5 steampunk, and it is very...
It's a very steampunk game.
It doesn't really have anything. I mean, it's a very pasted on theme, and that's not a bad thing. I mean, it's very beautiful. The game, if someone's playing this game and you walk past it, it looks gorgeous.
I like the little gems and stuff.
It's very colorful. It's very good. It looks great. But I enjoy a little bit extra. Like we keep referring to Caverna, which is great praise for this game, that it invokes those same type of memories because that game's like number 4 on Board Game Geek. But this game doesn't, like, for instance, in Caverna, when you have a sheep, or when you have a dog, it can watch sheep, right? It makes thematic sense. And there's really, because again, you're dealing with time travel, so it's hard to make thematic sense. But I will say,
besides the fact that you can't go back in time.
Right, there is a thing where you can't go back. Once you move forward in time, you can't jump back. But the thing I will say that I will give this game big praise is that I think this is a great intro-level worker placement game. I think this game fits in that same window as Lords of Waterdeep, where it's looking at it, if someone saw it, they'd be like, no way. But once you like, oh, this, you know, like I said, pie or cake. And And games are good. When games are like that, people are more receptive because they always feel like, oh, I'm always doing something. Now, when we play it, we're like, what's the most optimal decision, which is what creates, they call it analysis paralysis. And that's what you're talking about, where
Overwhelming.
you sit here and you're like, but I think for a general audience, this is a great gateway game to learn worker placement games. And it's the artwork's great. It's beautiful. It's easy to put together. It's modular. You can play 2 players. You can play up to 4 players. The board changes depending on how many players you have. There's even a advanced version, it has more options to it. So overall, I think it's a good game. I think for me, it doesn't get that extra bump because of the lack of just general theme. But that's not a bad thing.
And I do like too that you're never really behind. Like David, when you and I played last night, you were ahead by like 20 something points, but by the end I had my missions that he didn't know about, all this kind of secret stuff, and I only lost by 2 points by the end of it. So I like that.
When we played, you only lost by 2 points.
Yeah, though you feel behind throughout the game, you're never really behind until the very end. So
the one negative I do have on this one versus Caverna and Lords of Waterdeep, which I like. Caverna is my lowest one on the list.
Lords of Waterdeep is definitely my first.
I like Lords of Waterdeep a lot too. But I never felt like, and this could be because we only did 2-player, because we played with David separately. I never felt like you went where I wanted to go.
When I played with him, I did that a lot.
I was just like,
there's not as much player interaction. Yeah, and that's traditional of most worker placement games. Most Euro-style games, there's less player interaction. There's less take that, like we talked about with the last game, not the last game, but one of the games we reviewed. Those are called a Marathrash, where you're like punching the person in the face. This is less of that, and that's why these are good games to introduce people to.
Right. There's a lot more options than there are players for when we play.
Right.
But with Lords of Waterdeep, we did that 2-player, and I felt like we did that a lot. Plus, you can buy the places where you can land on each other's, and you have to give them.
There's forced interaction.
Yeah. So I have to say, Lords of Waterdeep is probably the best worker placements, but I had a great time.
That's more hardcore of the 3 too. As well.
Yeah, but it is. Yeah, but Steam Time was a lot of fun.
But generally,
I agree.
Thames and Kosmos, man, killing it. Good games, awesome games.
I think I give you guys all thumbs up on those games.
All right, so that's Steam Time from Thames and Kosmos.